but then the kinky for the, you know, that's nobody checking for them.
Did she say Z?
Do you think there's some kind of discrimination in the natural hair community?
I just have a quick. I don't think it's discrimination. To me, I mean, look at the women on the panel. All of us have different textures here. And these women, I'm not a vlogger, but all of them are popular. You know, and it's, in my opinion, I don't feel like it's an issue. I feel like everybody has their own lane. You know, your messaging behind it. Like Vaughn, she does beauty and she does hair. Somebody else does this and that. So I just think, I don't necessarily feel like it's an issue. I don't feel like one is popular over the other. And then if you do choose to follow someone based on their hair being curly and maybe you're liking them, that's your own personal issue that you may be having with yourself. So then it becomes an internal thing. Is what do you identify as beautiful? What do you favor as beautiful? So what are you drawn to? So if you are one of those type of people that are looking at this and say, oh, I'm gonna like her picture, but I'm gonna scroll past this picture, that's a mental check where you need to have with yourself.
Well, all right.
Well, my personal opinion on it is that I don't feel like anybody's hair is more beautiful than the next. This young lady sitting here, I've been looking at her hair the whole time. You with the pretty, your hair is absolutely gorgeous. I for the record, I hate hair typing. I actually despise it. I hate when people ask me about it, but just for the sake of conversation, I have 3C4A hair, but I love 4C hair. Y'all hair can do anything. Y'all hair can hold texture like nobody's business. My wash and go may be more defined, but I love playing in 4C hair because I can do anything with it. Like, there's so much versatility. It's ridiculous. And as far as a looser texture being favored over a tighter texture when it comes to Instagram or Facebook or something, I understand that this natural hair movement isn't something that's been around for 10, 12, 20 years. For most of our lives, we've been taught that the looser hair texture was the good hair, the quote-unquote better hair. So, I mean, I feel no type of way when I see that because I understand this is a learning process. This is still something new, and you have to be able to appreciate the beauty in everybody's hair first. You have to learn how to do that. It's just something we've been taught all our lives to look at the quote-unquote better hair, when it's actually not. I believe everyone sitting out here, hair is beautiful. All of you have something, you know, about your hair that's different that makes it beautiful. I just think it's a matter of waiting it out, letting time change our opinions on what beauty is, basically.
I actually haven't read the article as yet, but I did watch Joelle's YouTube video, and yeah, everybody's like yes. Because she's such an outspoken person and such an outspoken blogger, and she's the one that actually started the conversation within the community. Being someone who has been, I'm one of the original natural hair bloggers out there. So I've seen a lot change within the industry, whether it's the YouTube portion of it, blogging, etc., or just the entire industry as well for the natural hair community. I'm not necessarily saying that is any one person or a specific group's fault that this is happening, but I think we have to be honest with ourselves and say that there is a divide. There is. It's a divide that has now, unfortunately, come into the natural hair and textured hair community, but I feel as if in our entire lives there are already so many other things that divide us that I kind of take it like it's a personal offense now that I'm seeing it dividing our community that we worked so hard to build, and we're here to support each other and cheer each other on no matter what the texture is. But now there's so much of the business side of it that's driving things, and it's like, wait a minute, stop, pause. Why did we start in the first place? Like, it's about self-love and self-acceptance. And I'm not trying to get all yogi on you guys. You know what I mean? But it's true. When you start and you decide to go natural, whether it's for the fashion or, for personal reasons, it's because you're learning to love yourself. Now, once we start to, once it's like we start to go so far and astray from that, it's going to tear us. Like, we have to get it together. I don't have a problem with the curly-haired bloggers out there, such as Taryn. Great, you know, different textures. I love watching her videos because she's able to share techniques that can help people learn how to do a certain style in their hair, especially if they have texture like hers. But here's what I'm having an issue with. When the kinky hair girls, not here typing anyone, but the kinky hair girls are so obsessed with the curly hair girls that you then start to hate yourself and you start to hate your own hair. That's what's happening, and that's the issue. It's not what someone with curly hair is doing, it's how you're reacting to it. If you think, oh my God, girl, she just banged out that style, her curly hair is awesome, great. But don't turn it around and say, okay, I'm only gonna follow her. What about the girls that have hair like yours? You will never be able to embrace your own texture when you can't see beauty in others that look just like you. Amen. That's the problem.
I agree 100%. My goal is always, my underlying goal is actually, when I look back at every career move I've ever made, it's always had to do with women's self-empowerment and self-love. And I completely agree with Michelle. A lot of people are, let me backtrack. How you feel about your hair is very much how you feel about yourself. Quiet as it's kept, and as much as people don't necessarily realize it. And within the natural hair community, there has become this divide, so to speak, of the curly hair girls and the kinky hair girls, because like I said, I do these classes all over, and in our company, we make two different hair lines. One is specifically for kinky and coily hair, and one specifically for curly and wavy hair. And when I ask people, because they want to buy the product or whatever, they want to know about them, and they'll say, well, which line do I need? Or I say, what do you think your hair type is? And some of the kinky girls are like, it's 4C. You know, they're like cringing with it. Like it's a bad thing. Or they'll say things that they don't, like so much power in words. Like they don't realize what they say. They'll be with their friend who's a curly hair girl, and they'll say, well, she's got the good hair. She needs the curly box. I can't straight off the boat. I need that kinky box. You know, it's just like, don't say that about yourself. You know, you don't realize how strong that is subconsciously and how that makes you feel about yourself. You feel that you called her hair good, and you just compare yourself to a slave. You know, like, that's not cool. You know, and when you do that, especially if you have children, you know, you say these little things, you don't even realize it. It messes them up.
It will mess your kids up. So
it absolutely does.
Because when you now pass it on to the mother, when you pass it on to that generation, it's like, wait a minute, we've gone through all we have to embrace our hair, and yet
Just turn right back around.
are hurting our kids.
Absolutely. Just think that, I mean, I know you all have grown up, because most of us have relaxers at some point, you know, and you've probably heard, oh, you have a really good grade of hair, or so-and-so has a good grade of hair. And maybe that person was you, or maybe that was somebody else, but they didn't say that about you. You know, so how does that make you feel? Even when it's not a direct conversation with you, you're hearing these things. I remember growing up going to the hair salon every single week. My mother, I was the youngest, so y'all spoiled. And she took me to the hair salon every single week. And I would get in the chair, and the stylist would say, she's a really good friend of the family, she's like, you have a really good grade of hair, but I wouldn't have known it by looking at it. And it was like, what are you trying to say? Like, is my hair nice or is it not? You know? But then there would be other girls that are around my age, and she wouldn't say that they had good grades of hair. You know? And then there'd be other girls there, so she would say, oh, you have really pretty hair, but she didn't call my hair pretty. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily just the things that you say directly, but things that you hear around. So it's up to all of us to make sure that we're using language that empowers us and doesn't detract from everything that we've built for these past, you know, few years. The natural hair community is kind of new. You know, being in the 80s, it was all about the straight hair. You know, we went from the 70s with Black Power, the fros, the basketball fros, whatever. Then we went to the 80s, and it was all about corporate and straight hair. You have to have straight hair. And now we're getting back to the point where we love our hair, where people are starting to cringe and hate their hair, and that just breaks my heart. So I completely agree with all the ladies that it's about how you feel about yourself, and again, how you feel about your hair is very much how you feel about yourself, so change your thinking. And I want to say one thing about shrinkage. I have to say this. I don't understand why people hate shrinkage so much. Like, to me, and I feel like the things that we put energy into are exacerbated. Right? I see people online all the time, oh, I hate my shrinkage, I hate this. Well, guess what? Our hair is gonna shrink. Okay? It's what it is. So don't say you hate shrinkage, okay? Because to be honest, how can you hate shrinkage, right? We're the only people that get to have short hair and long hair in one day with no haircut and no weave. You have options. What is to hate? You know what I mean? Like, this is something that makes us different. This makes us beautiful. Nobody else has it. I guarantee you in a couple years, everybody else will be trying to do it. But, you know, they'll figure out some kind of way to do it. They always do. They always do, you know. They're going to figure out some kind of way to do it. But this is what we have that makes us beautiful. You know, just think about, like, in the 90s, you know, women with, you know, large backsides. It was like, ugh, and all of a sudden it's the thing, you know. And we kind of set the trends. We make things beautiful. Love yours, you know, I don't say you got to love it, but embrace it. Think about it with the glass half full. Okay, don't always be like, oh, shrinkage sucks. You know, figure out a way to make it beautiful and love that you get to have options.
When Rochelle was saying about the children, I don't have children, but I do have an 11-year-old sister. She's significantly younger than me. And it bothers me when she comes to me and tells me, well, Gabby, you know, the girl at school, her hair is long, straight, and pretty. I want my hair like that. And I was like, no, you can't wear your hair straight. I intentionally tell her she can't wear her hair straight. So it does translate over to the younger generation. It's like, you know, we're coming to these expos, we're getting educated and everything, but what are we saying around the children? Because I've never told her hair was ugly. I've always told her hair was beautiful. But there's somebody, either at school or somewhere, dropping it in her ear that you have bad hair, and it bothers me. It bothers me on levels that I can't even explain. Because it's like, they're children. What do they know about good or bad hair? I don't set the tone that you shouldn't be yourself. She sees me all the time. So just to piggyback off what, you know, just watch what you say around your children, educate them. I have her do her own hair. I show her how to do her hair, to show her your hair is beautiful. She goes to school sometimes and the girls ask her, oh, is that all your hair? Did you do your hair? I want my hair like that. And then she comes home smiling. She was like, oh, you were right. You know, they really do love my hair and stuff like that. So just the one thing that I've always loved about this, because I felt like it was the first time that African American women were really coming together and being cohesive. Please don't start another brown pig bag thing. Like that is not even cool, because it, like I said, it translates down to the children, and it would just continually be perpetuated. So, you know, what you say around your children, educate them, show them what to do, show them that their hair is beautiful.
Usually have a lot to say about the hair texture typing conversation, and you guys who follow me on YouTube already know that. And it's only just because it's like beating a dead horse. I mean, this is not a new topic. This has been going on for decades, maybe even centuries. And to be honest, I think we've made some pretty substantial strides. I mean, there was one point where you didn't even know what different hair textures we had going on because everyone was relaxed. And I feel like now, you know, we've stripped all that away, and now we have this thing that's sort of forced on us. We have to have these kind of conversations because now we got grown women who are just now learning the type of texture that they have, and they're comparing it to other textures. And this is all natural stuff. This is nothing new. And I think that the silver lining to all this is that we are having these kind of conversations, and even just now sitting on the panel when she mentioned that she has products that describe what hair texture would be best fitting for. I didn't even know that existed, because when people just from the YouTube space would ask me, you know, how do I learn what type of texture I have? Like, tell me about this hair typing system and this and that. And I'm always like, I'm not the one to teach you about it, because I don't know that it's helpful. I don't know that it does anything but help divide us and put us into different categories. That we do it with the skin complexions, we do it with how much money you make. We do it all the time. We categorize each other. So I always tell people that I don't think it's even helpful, because I'm like, when you go to a store and you buy hair products, does the label say this is for 4C, this is for 3-wave? I don't even know. But when you mention that there's a descriptor there, that's helpful. So in that sense, yes, you need to probably know whether your hair is kinky or curly or what category to put it in that sense. But that's not what it's being used for. That's not what this typing system is all about, because why would you need to split the 3s into 3 different ones? You would just say, okay, 3s are curly, 4s are kinky, you would do it that way. This category thing is almost like a ranking system. So like the further you are to the top, the better. The further you get down, the worse off you're becoming. So I don't believe that it's helpful unless it's, you know, in terms of picking products that work. You know, I don't. You know, like I said, we've come very far, but I don't know that it's ever. I mean, unfortunately, I don't know that it's ever going to go away.